back, everyone, to Spitball and Sports. Very special Saturday edition of Spitball and Sports because anytime that I have the opportunity to talk NHL hockey, and anytime I have the opportunity to bring Jim Biringer back on from Full Press NHL, I have to do it. And here he is. How's it going, Jim?
John, I'm doing well. Saturday, nice weather. Stanley Cup playoffs are here. Disappointed there's only one game tonight, but that's all right. That's okay. I'm okay with that. But you got a trifecta on Sunday. So, hey, look, at least we got to a point where there's only one game on instead of no games on a Saturday.
That's true. That's true. I mean, because Saturday night without the Maple Leafs is weird. I mean, I thought for sure I don't know what's going on down there, but my guess was no one expected, I don't know, maybe they just didn't expect them to advance. Maybe the building is filled. Something's got to be happening. It's weird to give them 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's F1 down there too right now in Miami. So right. I think they have the race there today. So probably I would think that's why they pushed it, because you don't want to have two competing events. We know how, Leaf fans like to travel, and I've been down there in Florida to Sunrise to that building on a Saturday night when the Montreal Canadiens were in town, and there were a lot of Canadiens fans in there in the building. So I expect Sunday. I expect to see a lot of Leaf fans who live down in that area.
Yeah, I know the Panthers are trying hard to keep them out, right? They're doing that stuff with the zip code and all that, I believe. But I wonder if you can go to StubHub and get around it. I don't know.
I think you can go to StubHub, Vivid Seats, Game Time, whatever. You probably could get tickets that way instead of go through Ticketmaster.
Jim, why don't we start with tonight? If I'm wrong, let me know, because I didn't look. It's Edmonton, right, tonight?
Edmonton's tonight. They had a couple of days off, yeah.
Why don't we talk about the Edmonton series? Obviously, we know Draisaitl had 4 goals, but they lost the game 6-4. And, 1-0. I want to get your thoughts on this series as you saw game 1 and going forward.
Look, Leon Draisaitl's on a mission to carry this team into a Stanley Cup final. He's not satisfied. It's like that Michael Jordan mentality. 4 goals. Yeah, not satisfied. His team lost. I would be mad too, because, look, Edmonton's defense, he said it in round 1 after game 1. The defense needs to be better. It needs to lock down leads. Draisaitl scores on a power play. 26 seconds later, Barbashev scores. The game's tied. So that power play is just basically null and void. Their defense and their goaltending is going to be their Achilles heel. We know they can score, but that's the issue for Edmonton, is their defense. And how many years have we been saying that?
Yeah. Darnell Nurse is a tough one, right? What's he, about $9 million off the cap for him? And I've always said this, and you can tell me what you Cody Ceci being in your top 6 gives me nightmares back to the Leaf days and even with Ottawa. So you know what I mean? But they're in that cap crunch, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely in a cap crunch. They're up against it. But again, as we've seen around, the NHL, the cap's always played a part in a lot of things. But also, what we've seen during these playoffs, especially out of a few teams, it's great that McDavid and Draisaitl going, but the rest of the band needs to go. RNH has 0 goals. A guy had a 100-point season, 4 assists. That's not good enough. Vander Kane needs to step his game up. Zach Hyman, the list goes on of guys, and I agree. Cody Ceci in my top 6, I'm not really a fan of it, especially when you have Stuart Skinner and Jack Campbell as your goaltending pair. Ceci as a 7th, I'm okay with. Right. But as a 6, I'm not sure how I feel.
Yeah, and I don't know how you feel. Give me on game 1, Skinner. What did you think of his play?
I think he could have had a couple goals. He needs to stop that Barbashev shot right after they score on a power play. You have to give your team momentum and keep it. Obviously Vegas, got to stay out of the penalty box. But, Skinner, some of the goals he let up, again, some were not his fault, but some were, he's got to make that save. And defensively in front of him, they weren't that great. But, again, I think there are a couple saves he wants back.
Part of me is surprised that Jack Campbell hasn't gotten in, only because, with the Leafs, I got to be honest, he wasn't the reason they got eliminated last year. I know he's got a little bit of an issue. When he loses, he's really hard on himself. I mean, the stuff it's a little much. He apologizes to the world. He apologizes to everybody. What do you think? Man, I was thinking maybe Campbell is ready to come into this series.
Yeah, I think if they go down 0-2, I think that you might see a goalie switch. I think they go to Jack Campbell. I mean, look, he saved the LA series. He comes in,
Yep.
makes a lot of big saves for the Oilers when they were still trailing in the game. They were down 3-2 before they tied it in that second period of game 4, made some bigger saves in the third period, but then they went right back to Skinner. That's what they needed at that time. But I think Campbell has shown he can get it done in the playoffs. I agree with you. The last couple of years, it was not Jack Campbell. It was the defense in front of Jack Campbell. Now, if he could have made a save here or there, things are different. But the Leafs also didn't have the ability to close. And the Oilers' defense needs to lock it down, especially after they take a lead. It's like they score, great. We got the first goal, but we're going to give it right back. Or we just don't know how to hold the lead. And it's going to be a high-scoring affair again, probably, because, again, look at the other side. Laurent Brossoit, I mean, yeah, he's made the saves that he needs to make, but, he can be scored on, especially with that Oiler offense, but it's the Oiler defense that's going to kill them again.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a similar story. I mean, we'll talk about them later. It's a similar story to the Maple Leafs. It's funny how these two teams are. The only thing I'll say, when I look at those two, the Leafs have a harder time scoring these days than Edmonton's. Just, you give Edmonton a power play, honest to God, you can't give them more than 3 power plays. You just can't.
No, you can't. I agree. It's automatic. I think I saw it on Twitter, and I probably said this to the text chain that I'm in with a bunch of people. Just put the puck at center ice when Edmonton gets a power play. It's a gimme. It's a gimme every time. And I said that the other night too about the Leaf power play when they scored right away. I'm like, Florida, what are you doing? You cannot give the Leaf power play multiple chances. Now they didn't cash in on the others, but the way they move the puck and get guys open, I mean, they're just as good as the Oiler power play.
Yeah. So now, you know what? That's a good segue. Why don't we march into the Eastern Conference? We're going to go to both. Well, you know what? Before we go, I shouldn't do that to the West. Dallas, Seattle, they're 1-1. You got a good see. Pavelski had 4 goals and lost.
And lost. And back-to-back. That was the first time since '88 that happened on back-to-back nights in the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I believe the last guy to do it in the playoffs was Ray Ferraro, and they lost.
Right.
His team lost.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think he's 92, 93 or something crazy.
Yeah, 93 with the Islanders. Apparently, the story goes from what he said is he had back-to-back overtime winners against the Capitals, and then he scores 4 and they lose.
What a player he was. Honestly, when you think about that, because I listen to him a lot, and we all do, and I love when he's on with Darren Dreger, and he's got that podcast, and he doesn't give himself much credit. He was a hell of a player.
He was a good player for the Islanders and the Whalers. And I know, and I know his time in Atlanta wasn't the greatest. He always says it, but expansion team again. The expansion teams then and the expansion teams now are way different. But he was a heck of a hockey player. He come up clutch so much, and especially to play for a team like the Islanders. And he always gets so much love when he goes back to the island. People love him there.
Yeah, he was incredible. I always liked him. In that series now, we're going with Seattle won 5-4, Dallas won 4-2. Where are we headed to? We're headed to Seattle now, right?
We're heading to Seattle, yeah.
What do you think, man? What are you seeing in this series?
I'm seeing that Jake Ottinger can do what he did against Minnesota. If he's going to lock it down like that, I mean, obviously he had a rough game 1. They scored 4 goals in the first period. But again, Joe Pavelski, he had 4. He could probably had 5. I mean, he's everywhere. This guy tipping pucks, finds different ways to score. I mean, little Joe is continuing to do what he does. But Seattle continues to grind away at teams. 4 lines deep. Defensively, they're good. Offensively, they're different. And I got to give props. Eddie O said this. He was like, he loves the way Adam Larson's playing. Well, Adam Larson finally developed into the player that the Devils drafted him. But you have to give credit to Larry Robinson, Scott Stevens, when he was out there in that playoff run. They worked with him. He was just rushed. And again, the Devils just rushed another young talent. But he was good in Edmonton. How he's even better in Seattle and anchored that defense. Grubauer's playing well. But Dallas, their power play is really good too. But Seattle just finds ways to stick around. And that's a scary thing for a team like the Dallas Stars, who have got Sagan going, Ben going, Robertson going, Wyatt Johnson going. And now, and obviously their top line, Rupe Hintz, Pavelski, good to see Joe Pavelski back. Dallas is just as deep and loves to play physical like Seattle does, which makes it a great matchup.
Now, you know what's funny, man, is you're looking at the teams that are left, and that might be the best goaltending in the league in right now in the playoffs is in that series. Because when we shift to the East, last night Carolina plays New Jersey. Carolina has pretty much I don't know what first game was 5-1, second game was 6-1.
Yeah.
Frederik Andersen, I don't know. I see, being a Leaf fan, I don't know. I'm always waiting for Freddie to end up hurt or something to go down here to make him, I think he's easily rattled. Let me ask you, Devils, you follow the team. I know you cover the team. Obviously, you're a fan of the team. And I heard Henrik Lundqvist. I was thinking of you when I saw the intermission. I know they took him out, put Vanacek in, but he gave up a couple goals. What do you do now going to game 3 in the net for New Jersey?
I think you might go Vanacek. I think they might go, unless they decide to give Schmid a home game and give him a short leash. Because he's had back-to-back shutouts on home ice. And he's not the reason why New Jersey is losing. I know the goalie's got to stop the puck. I get it. But he's not the reason the Devils got outscored 11-2 in 2 games and have won. Check this out. They've played 5. This is their 5th meeting in the playoffs with Carolina. They are 3-11 going back to 2001 against the Hurricanes in Carolina. The Devils are. You're not winning a series. You can't win a series if you can't win on the opposing team's home ice. The Devils got shellacked. They looked like the Devils of the first 2 games against the Rangers. Throw game 1 out because the emotion of game 7, you come off the Rangers. Freddie Andersen and the Carolina Hurricanes withstood the Devils' first 10 minutes. Devils had power plays. Dougie Hamilton hit the post. Anderson made save after save after save after save. I think the Devils, really, after all those scrambles, were only credited with 6 shots. It felt like they had 10 or 12 on them, the way he made saves. And then the TV timeout came, and then Carolina took over. And New Jersey just couldn't get their game back. And I'm hearing it, and I'm going to take credit for this because I've been clamoring it since the Rangers series. And I've said it after game 1. Luke Hughes needs to be in this Devils lineup. I finally hear NHL analysts talking about it. Everybody's starting to write about it. I was the first one to put it out there on FullPressHockey.com. He needs to be in this lineup because the Devils' defense looks slow. They cannot break out of the zone because Carolina's forecheck is so good. And everybody's like, well, he's only had 2 games. Yeah, guess what? Matthew Nyes had 3 games. Right. And look what he did for the Leafs. So these guys can step in from college and play at this level. We've seen it before. Yeah. He just doesn't have to do too much. Go in and play his game. We know what he can do. He's a smooth skater, great first pass. That's what the Devils need. That's how you break what Carolina is doing and figure out where you're going to get offense from, because the Devils got away with their top guys not scoring against the Rangers. They can't do that again.
Right. No, and that makes so much sense. And I saw you put it out there about Hughes. And it's funny because I know the Maple Leafs, the Devils and the Leafs are kind of mirroring each other a little bit here. They also have a hard time getting out of their own zone, and they put Timothy Liljegren in. And now he's different story. I think Hughes is a better player. But then I see Gustafsson might be making an appearance. So you make so much sense because you've got to get it out. And the best way to get it out is to skate it out, I think.
Yeah, you have to skate it out. Got to skate it out and make a good first pass. Yep. Because Hughes is such a smooth skater, that he can avoid that hit. These guys are getting hit constantly. Move the puck off the better breakouts. Just move the puck quicker. Guys, and when your top guys aren't going, well, Carolina know who's to go to. Just shadow Jack Hughes because no one else is doing anything. So he's trying to do too much. Okay, Hughes just going to turn the puck over. They need other guys to score. I mean, Timo Meyer's got 32 shots on net and has 0 goals through the playoffs. Like, I mean, one's bound to go in, but I thought maybe after the empty net goal Brack got in Game 7, that get him going. No,
Right.
it got Palat going. It got Taylor Hall going. Like, sometimes those are the things that you need to get going. But the Devils' transition game is just, it's not there. And I was surprised to see Ryan Graves back in the lineup after such a poor Game 1. And I got a feeling they're going to probably do some tweaking somewhere to get some offense. Now that Utica's out, maybe they bring somebody up just to change something.
Right.
They've been in this position before, but how often can you rely on the past of, yeah, we started 0-2 to start the season. Yeah, we did this against the Rangers. This isn't the Rangers. Carolina's faster, bigger, and yeah, everybody thought, oh, they can't score goals. Well, they've adjusted to not having their top guys in there. Now they're activating their D, which the Devils, one of the best teams in the league this season, got goals from their defense. Yeah. They're not active enough. That's where a guy like Luke Hughes comes in.
And, with Carolina, Kotkaniemi, I'm remembering him from Montreal. Geez, I'm very, very impressed with him, the way he's played in this series. I didn't really give him much. I don't know. Anytime I hear his name, I don't really think, oh, geez, he's a difference maker, but played well.
Yeah, I mean, he's killing the Devils in this series. He's got 3 goals.
I
mean, he's just torching them right now, and I think he did that with Montreal too. He's always figured out a way to score against New Jersey for some reason.
And I'll say last night too, there was a lot of times in that game, and there was just a lot of chaos going on. It felt like in certain, like that's where I don't give Schmid too much. I don't know, like it was just chaotic. One of the goals was just, they were all over. I mean, it was just like I don't know, like he was flopping around, but I understand why he was. Guys were falling on him. It wasn't odd. I don't know. It just becomes a tidal wave because if Hamilton can score that goal that hits off the post, you know what I mean? It's a whole different story. I bet the games are different.
Oh, so, New Jersey scores the first goal. They get that power play. Now they're getting confident. They're going to play their game. They're going to use their speed to their advantage. Once Carolina gets the first goal, they play their game perfectly. They were hitting New Jersey. And the Devils players, Nico Hischier said it after. He's like, we're getting outworked. We're getting outworked. We should be mad about it. We need to be better. I need to be better. I mean, he's doing everything possible, but you need everybody. And you can't have your fourth line be your best line every night. Like, that can't happen.
What time tomorrow do they play? Is it 3:30?
Yeah, they got 3:30 tomorrow in New Jersey. So it's going to be interesting to see, what kind of changes they make. I know they were thinking about going 11-7. Last night they didn't do it. I will be very shocked if Luke Hughes is not in that lineup tomorrow because they need it. Like, they need to move this puck. How many, everybody sees it now. It's not just me. It's not just the guys that cover this team. It's everybody is seeing that this Devils defense, especially Ryan Graves, can't move this puck. And, when you can't move the puck and you get pinned in, it just snowballs. It snowballs and snowballs and snowballs. So they have a media availability this afternoon. They're going to talk about some things, have a morning skate, go through practice, whatever. But they got to figure some things out. Look, it's not a series till home team loses. Home team hasn't lost yet. If New Jersey, as we saw in Game 3 against the Rangers, they can get that win, that confidence starts to come. Again, they've been in this position before against Carolina, but again, this Carolina team is different. It feels different. They're playing a lot better, and they're like on a mission to get back to a Stanley Cup final. Like, this Carolina team, I know it stinks that Svechnikov and Teravainen aren't a part of it, but they feel like they can go deep.
Yeah, they do. And with the way things are lining up, and there's the goaltending, you know what I mean? The whole thing is there for one of these in my mind, to do something special. Speaking of not being able to win on home ice, which is really odd for the Maple Leafs, they were such a good home ice team. Samsonov was his goaltending, his numbers on home ice were incredible. They go down 2-0. They lose game 1, 4-2, lose game 2, 3-2, after giving up the worst minute and 20 seconds in NHL second period history. I want to start out by getting your thoughts on these two games that we watched between the Leafs and the Panthers.
I figured the Panthers were going to take game one.
Yeah.
You know, other places I've been on, I've stated that, you know, I thought Florida was coming in with momentum. You have game 7, you knock off the best team in the regular season. You take out Boston, you're riding high. I figured that was going to happen. Toronto started to get their game, but that forecheck of the Panthers was so good in game 1. They get the first goal. The thing is the first game, Leafs have a couple power plays in the first 10 minutes. If they score, that's a different game. Like we've talked about it. Like we talk about New Jersey. If Hamilton scores, it's a different game. The Leafs score there, man, Florida down 2-0 maybe, 1-0. It's a different game. But Florida never quits. And they use that momentum, and Kachuk and Bennett and all those guys just grind you out. And Sergei Bobrovsky's playing like the $10 million man. Game 2, Leafs score 2 goals early. They're playing great. At the end of the first period, they give a goal back. They let a shot happen with about a second left. Florida's coming back. The passing at the blue line was their undoing, and I believe Samsonov wants that second goal back.
Definitely.
That's the one that was the one shaky one. Other than that, I've thought his play has been good in the first 2 games. He's given the team a chance at least to win both of those games. Maybe not the first one so much, but he kept them in the second game. But Matthews and Marner just couldn't finish. I thought Nylander had a great game too. I know a lot of people have been riding him because he hasn't done much. I thought he was their best player in game 2.
He was. He definitely was. The thing with him is just, I mean, game 1, there was you just can't help but see him not, in the defensive zone, just kind of, he didn't even bend his knees. He just stood straight up and watched things. He's such a, I don't even know how to, I don't even know what to say about Nylander, because I'm assuming next year he's gone. I can't believe the 40, I don't know how they could keep him with the salary cap the way it is. Now, they should be able to get a ton for him, 40 goal scorer, the whole deal. But no, I thought he was the best player game 2. I want to show you something, though, and this is 2 clips. And this goes to my theory of the Leafs that I'll explain. But I want to show you the 2 clips. You probably already saw them. One of them's they're both kind of funny, but this is Samsonov.
When Bobrovsky is playing at the level he's playing at in the series, do you feel like that's a challenge to you? You have to raise your game?
I don't give a
Why not?
It doesn't matter for me. I'm doing my work. He's doing his work.
So he tells him he doesn't give a fuck, which I'm fine with. I mean, it's a kind of a silly question. And then ask him why afterward. Why don't you give a fuck? I mean, this next one I want to show you it's actually just what you talked about, where the Leafs, Marner drops it. All you got to do is skate, and he's out of the zone. He drops it back to Matthews. I don't know what the fuck. Matthews just put it in the guy's stomach. Just watch more of the pressure real quick.
Samsonov back on the bench with his head down, and here's one that Sinclair gets it back to Forsling, and that one just rolls off. You can see his reaction. First off, I don't think he saw it at all as it came through a crowd, hit him right off the forehead. And the frustration up here, it's a difficult game to watch, but
Didn't have the part that I thought, but Kyle Dubas throwing the water bottle. He fought people in Tampa. The pressure on this team, which is probably, they call it the blue and white disease, I think, is what they call it in Toronto. But speak to that for me a little bit. The pressure on the Maple Leafs that shouldn't really be there, but is. I mean, it's almost like a team that they have the most pressure in the league, I think.
Well, I mean, they haven't won since 67. So, I mean, that alone. And things have fallen their way like they did in 93 to a point where you're like, oh, they can probably do this, right? Like, everybody's like, oh, my God, Boston's out. We don't have to go through Boston now. Like, we took out the champs. And I think, they're like, oh, we took out the Eastern Conference champs. Like, are we satisfied just to get to the second round? They shouldn't be. They said all the right things. It's like, yeah, we just won a series. Big deal. We should celebrate a little bit, but we have to get back to work. Like, they're saying all the right things, but there's pressure on this team to win because they are a betting line favorite now with the Oilers to win a Stanley Cup. And, a lot of people could expect maybe an all-Canadian final, but it's Toronto, man. Like, Matthews, what are you doing? Like, chip it off the wall. Marner, like on the third goal, Marner puts a bad pass in his skates. Like, I know Mike Johnson has defended the pass a little bit and really blame Matthews for not, just zipping it down the ice and whatever and trying to just be cute with it. But even there, I think you have to put a little bit blame on Marner too. You can't really make that pass. It's kind of a tough pass coming out. Skate it out, chip it off the wall, go get it. And then you're out free and you're fine. And I think that's where their undoing was. Look, Sergei Bobrovsky's playing great. Like, he's made a lot of big saves. He's made a lot of big saves on Matthews, a lot of big saves on Marner. Like, right in the slot, too. They just haven't been able to get one. You know, the loss of I think the big thing from Toronto is I want to see what they do now with no Matthew Knies, because he's going to be most likely out the rest of the series with a concussion. And I thought he's given that team just energy, especially with playing Achari and Ryan O'Reilly. I thought that line's been really good for Toronto.
Yeah, they're going to I think it's got to be 11-7 tomorrow, I would imagine. I think they play, and it's funny, I give Sheldon Keefe this. At the end of the season, the last 2 weeks, he kept doing that. And I was kind of everyone was getting frustrated. Even the media was like, geez, you got to figure it out. You got to set your lines for the playoffs as it comes. And I think 11-7 might be their best way. Just so you can get Matthews. I think it takes this is going to sound bad on Sheldon Keefe. It gets the decisions out of his hands.
Yeah, it does. No, it is, because now you can put Matthews out there all the time, and, you know, they can match up a little bit differently, and they're going to have to figure out how to stop Bennett and Tkachuk and how to get those guys away from them, because, you know, New Jersey used to do that a lot with other matchups too. And, you know, look, I don't think Toronto's played a bad series, but they have to limit the turnovers. Like, their second periods have not been great. Let's look, they got away with it against Tampa. They were able to make those comebacks. That's the kind of stuff that propels you deep into a series. But they didn't make mistakes that hurt them. They've made mistakes in this series that have hurt them and wound up in the back of the net. And they got to come out strong in Florida, because even if they have a lead, you can't sit back. You got to keep attacking the puck, because the Cats just don't give up.
The other thing I see, and you can tell me what you think, it was easier for them to go to the net against Tampa than it is against Florida. I'm noticing against Florida, the commitment to go in front of Vasilevsky was there. And I don't know, because it was Perbix and some other guys, you know, that weren't as difficult to play against as Gudis and all the other, you know, and Stahl and all that. But you would think that you got to get Bobrovsky. I don't know. I think he's seeing too much. The other thing is, too, it's hard to know what to do with Tavares, because he's starting to show his age to me, and when it comes to who do you play him against, and he had a ton of chances in front of the net. I think Nylander set him up 4 times in game 2.
Yeah, I think, you know, I agree with that, because that's the one thing I noticed in the Tampa series, like Matthews, where he was deflecting pucks in the slot. Like, he was having an easier time getting there. Now you're gonna have to fight like they fought against Tampa last year when McDonough was there. Again, the Lightning defense wasn't the same Lightning defense as it was last year. You know, Chernak was missing. Jan Ruda wasn't there. McDonough wasn't there. All right, well, you got to get greasy. You got to get grindy. You got to win puck battles. You can't just rely on your talent. You got to go work hard. There's a reason Ryan O'Reilly's there. There's a reason Noel Achari's there. Lafferty's there. Like, all these guys are there for a reason. You know, Dubas did a good job, and I think Ryan O'Reilly's playing good. Now it's, okay, how are we getting to the front of the net? Because they did that against Tampa. They scored a lot of goals in front of the net. They got to get in front of the net again. They got to figure out a way. Get body position. Get your stick somewhere. Like, just figure it out. Look at the tape of what Pavelski does. Find a way to get your stick on it, and it's going to go in the net. Like, just throw rubber at this guy, because, yeah, Bobrovsky's locked in, and, you know, he stays after practice, and he stays after morning ski, and he's the hardest worker there. And it's great, because when he plays a lot, he's really good. But there's also times where he can go backwards.
Yeah.
And if they can get one, maybe it snowballs into 2, 3, 4. Like, if it can get a bunch of goals in bunches, you know, when we see this team play at their best, they're pumping in 5, 6 a night. Like, they can do it. They have the talent to do it. They just got to work for it, because it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, that says it all. It won't be easy. And then before I let you go, Sam Bennett got fined $5,000 for the cross check on Bunting's neck. You saw it? The Matthew Knies play, dirty play, or was that just a mix up?
I mean, it's tough. What we've seen in the NHL, I thought maybe Kachuk might have got a little bit more
Oh yeah,
because
that
the
was before
elbow.
that, the
Because the
double hit.
elbow, yeah, the elbow. I think that's where he got the concussion. I think it
Yeah.
amplified with the Bennett takedown behind the net. I didn't like him slamming him to the ice, but that's playoff hockey. There's a little leeway in the playoffs the way guys get bear hugged and taken to the ice. But again, suspension, suspendable, spin the wheel because what we think is a suspension, there's no suspension. Again, we discussed off air, that's Michael Bunting. He's probably getting a game. Let's just be on it. Let's be honest. But if it's somebody else, we'll see. But they have to, what the Leafs got to do is got to hit. Got to go hit. Don't take revenge hits, but go hit. Throw your weight around. Hey, Bennett, you want to knock my guy out? Okay, fine. We're going to hit you back. And that's what they have to do. You got O'Reilly. You got Achara. You got guys that can bang.
Yeah.
Go throw your weight around.
So let me ask you before I let you go. So here we are. Tomorrow is going to be 3:30. We're going to have the Devils. At 6:30 is the Leafs. And then I guess the nightcap is Dallas.
Yeah.
Do you see the Leafs and do the Devils and the Leafs win? I mean, the Leafs are on the road. It might be better off for them. There was a part of me that almost, you're going to think I'm crazy, but you could even ask my wife. There was a part of me that thought, not because I thought that Florida was any special thing, that it might be better for the Leafs to play the Bruins in round 2, just to be the underdog, just to be them going on like us. There was just something about it that I almost wanted. I'm probably just a sicko. Does any one of these teams, do they come out down 3-0? The Devils, the Leafs. What are your thoughts on tomorrow's games? The three of them real fast.
I think New Jersey gets back in it, but I've been saying New Jersey's going to get back in it, and they lose again. But I think they will. I think they're gonna play well in front of the home crowd. I really do. I think Toronto's going to get back in the series too, because I think they're going to be able to simplify their game a little bit and realize that you go down 3-0. There's now hate in this series.
Right.
You can't be satisfied now. You have an opportunity here. Go take it. One game at a time. That's all it is. But I agree with you. I think if it was Boston, you would have seen the Leafs play like they did against Tampa because the edge was already there because it was Boston. The edge was there because Tampa beat us last year.
Right.
We need to get through Tampa to get to the next round. Well, now we need to get to Boston through to get next round. I think finally they get that wake up call now that, hey, one game at a time. I would not be shocked if Dallas goes up 2-1 just because the way they're playing. But again, Seattle, it's so crazy. It's crapshoot. Flip a coin on all these games because it could go either way, to be honest.
All right. Well, I might as well ask you about this one then, because it's today. Dallas, Edmonton, Las Vegas. Any Edmonton's even this up?
I think Edmonton gets back in there. I think this is 1-1 going back to Edmonton. I think they're going to play a lot better.
This is a great series. I think this one's a 7-game series. I really like this series a lot.
I really like it too because it's just offense all the time. Both sides. I mean, I know Vegas has a little bit of an edge defensively, but both teams can score, and both teams can score on a power play. And Mark Stone's playing well, Jack Eichel, all the star power there, and the underlying storyline of Eichel versus McDavid.
Yeah. I got to ask you now. I'm going to keep you for another second because Stone. Real quick on Stone. You saw that they reported about his bad back. I think some Fox News out in Las Vegas. So then it looks as though. Did you have a problem with them reporting what they saw?
No. I mean, look, this is the playoffs. I mean, injury reports are out there. Guys have bad backs. Guys have bad. I mean, this is hockey. There are little subtle things that happen inside a game. Guys got a bum finger, he's wearing a glove, you take a little slash, a little liberty here and there. I mean, look, they're one of the best players. They're going to figure out a way. I mean, I don't condone hurting the guy and taking him out of a series, but you give him a little rough stuff around the back. Okay, it's playoffs. Don't tell me other teams have not done that.
Oh. Now, Jim, are you headed to the Devils game?
I'm going to try to go on Sunday. Most likely Tuesday will be where I will go to the Devils Carolina series. I'm trying to go Sunday, but it might be tight with the schedule.
All right, Jim. So we find you on mostly all your stuff on Twitter,
Yeah.
right? And Full Press NHL.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, man. So I'll be reaching out again. We got to get back together again here shortly because the next round will be coming, and I enjoy talking hockey.
I enjoy talking hockey with you as well, John. This is always a fun time to do this.
Jim, take it easy. Good luck.
Hey, thanks you as well. Take it
care.
easy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That was Jim Biringer of Full Press NHL. Thanks for joining us today on a quick, real fast NHL interview with Jim. We'll be back, of course, on Friday with me and Scott. We'll be talking about everything, including the NHL. So, all right, everyone, have a good weekend. Enjoy the games, and we will see you next week.